Hey, welcome to our final episodes today. I'm here with Betsy and Denise. Today we're covering the most important topic of all, how to work successfully with others on WikiTree.
WikiTree is fundamentally collaborative. Unlike other platforms where you have your tree and everybody else has their own different trees, here we're all working together to build a single one family tree together. It's incredibly powerful, but it requires some special skills.
We have members from every age group, from all the corners of the world, with different experience levels. Communication can be challenging, especially in writing. That's why our honor code isn't just a suggestion, it's a foundation of everything we do.
If you ever find yourself in conflict with another member, we do have a step-by-step process called Problems with Members, and we'll show you that a little later on. And that can help you get over the bumps. And you can find it on the help menu. But our goal today with you is to help you to prevent conflict before it arises.
Let's start with the most important rule. Cite your sources. I know we've mentioned this before, but it's bears repeating. Sources aren't just nice to have. They're how we maintain accuracy in a collaborative environment. When you make a change to someone's profile, even if you know you're right, add a source. It helps other members understand your reasoning and builds confidence in the information. Second golden rule, work together, and collaboration requires communication. If you're making significant changes to a profile managed by someone else, consider reaching out first. A simple, hey, I found some information about whatever that on that profile might be helpful. Just goes a long way. Most profile managers are really pleased that you might be able to help improve their profile.
Mm-hmm. Hillary, do you want to just show the two ways to communicate? This is a profile that I manage, and you can see that easily in the box right to the right of the biography, and there's a little envelope icon right next to my name. If you click on that, you'll be able to send me a private message. The other easy way to get a message to the profile manager is to post a comment. At the bottom of every section, there's a comment field.
Yeah.
So, Hillary, sorry, I didn't mean to derail you. I'll let you.
No, you're fine. And I think the one important thing really is don't try and WikiTree while you're angry. We've even got an acronym for it, DWWA. Don't WikiTree while angry. If someone makes you change and you're not happy with it, and it annoys you or whatever, then step away from it and take time to cool off and think, before you act about what's happened properly. The last thing you want is you don't want to, you may think it's an attack, but it really isn't. Somebody's obviously thought that this was right, and they might have, someone might just be having a bad day or something. You've got to think the best of people, really. And if English is their second language, they might have misread something.
Really, you have to think of all possibilities.
Yeah,
100%.
It's really, follow that. Again, another golden rule is treat people the way you want to be treated. So, you got to be careful when you're putting things in text, the tone that you're using when you're writing them down. When you're making those comments, watch the tone, because tones can be misinterpreted. So be careful of that as well.
Yeah. 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 So yeah, always assume that mistakes are unintentional. And if someone deletes information you added or makes a change that seems wrong, assume they had a good reason and ask about it politely. For instance, you could say something like, "Hi, I noticed you removed the birth date I added. I found it in the 1850 census. Did you find conflicting information?" This opens the dialogue instead of creating conflict. Yeah. Be courteous to everyone, even those who don't act accordingly. This can be really hard sometimes, but remember, other members notice how you handle difficult situations over time. Your reputation in the community is built on how you treat others, especially when things get challenging. Being the person who stays calm and professional will serve you well in the long run. Get involved in the community on G2G. This is our genealogist to genealogist forum. You can always get to it under the help menu. From wherever you are, it's community forum G2G. This might seem optional, but it's actually crucial for success. When people get to know you on G2G, they're much more likely to give you the benefit of the doubt if conflicts arise. Plus, being part of G2G helps you to understand community norms and best practices. You'll learn from experienced members and feel more connected to the larger mission.
Yeah, you need to be patient with if you have any problem with an unresponsive profile manager, because sometimes people create things and then they disappear from WikiTree. Life can get in the way of doing things. Don't take it personally if someone doesn't respond to your messages. There are processes for dealing with unresponsive profile managers when necessary, but often it's just being patient. That's the best approach. Focus on the profiles where managers are actively engaged. Don't suffer in silence. If you're having trouble with another member, reach out for help early before things start to escalate. The community wants you to succeed and feel welcome. When you're not sure what to do, ask. This applies to technical questions, genealogy questions, and interpersonal situations. G2G is full of people willing to help. Asking a question isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of wisdom. Even experienced members ask questions when they encounter something new.
Right. And I myself spend most of my time in the treehouse on G2G, but I'm reminded when I look over to the right, there are all these different sections. You can appreciate someone. We'll talk about that in a second. If you need specifically research help, not so much WikiTree help, but genealogy help, there's an area for that. Policies and styles, tech questions. Here's a section for WikiTree help specifically. Or if you want to volunteer for something, a project, go to this area. So, and people are on G2G 24 hours a day because we're a global community. So you'll get answers. I think most people in the beginning are very surprised by how quickly they get a response. Now, speaking of Hillary mentioned that it's good to focus on profiles where the profile manager is active. And you might say, well, how do I know? And there's a very easy way to know now. So here on Hillary's profile, we do see her total number of contributions. And but we also see this 72 out of 90 recent. That means that Hillary has been active. She's made contributions most of the last 3 months. So if you see something like that, you can know that that profile manager is very active. If you see 0 of 90 or say 3 of 90, much less active. So that's a good gauge there. And with regard, the advice, don't suffer in silence, certainly not. So the problems with members process that we mentioned, you can get to from the help page on any menu, any page, and it is right there. And what it will do is it will walk you through sort of a flow chart to help you decide what your next best step is. This is a good one and easy to get to. How you're known on WikiTree is built on your actions over time. Cite sources consistently, communicate respectfully, and contribute positively to the community. Help newer members when you can, even if you're still learning yourself. I love the mantra of learn one, do one, teach one. And when you've done all of those 3, check, 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 then you've mastered that. Teaching others is one of the best ways to solidify your own knowledge. Celebrate other people's successes. When someone makes a great discovery or improves a profile that you care about, thank them. A little appreciation goes a long way in building positive relationships. So you can leave a note here. You can give somebody a wonderful WikiTree award, which goes into, I don't think you would do that from the person's profile, I believe. Yeah. Or say, I think I'm the only one who's worked on Waname's profile. But if I go to the change history and I notice that somebody else did something, there will be a little hyperlink that says, thank the person. You click on it. It's so easy. And they will get a thank you in their feed. So remember, we're all here because we love family history and want to preserve it for future generations. When conflicts arise, keep that shared mission in mind.
Yeah. The 10 ways to be a successful WikiTreeer all come down to one thing: treating others the way you would want to be treated. It's not always easy, but it's what makes WikiTree work.
That wraps up our 6-episode journey through WikiTree. You now have the knowledge and tools to be a confident, collaborative member of our community.
Yeah. Keep our community happy. Treat everyone the way you want to be treated, and it'll be a great place to live and work.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah. The more you get involved, the more likely you're going to want to stay as well. Yeah. You make connections with others.
Yeah.
And we've been so pleased to see these sessions well attended. Thank you for joining us. And don't be strangers. We have regular Q&A sessions. They happen twice a month. The title of the event is Member Q&A via Zoom. And Hillary and Denise are both co-hosts with me, along with Murray Maloney and Stephen Greenwood. And we have one coming up this Thursday. So it's Thursday, November 13th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And the Zoom link is there. There's also a G2G post up about it. And then the second session of the month is always on the 4th Sunday of every month in the morning Eastern Time.
Yeah. And that one is usually better for you if you're in Europe, like I am, because otherwise you unless you're a real night owl, you're staying up beyond midnight.
Yeah. Well, we hope you've enjoyed these weekly how-tos during this special WikiTree week. And happy 17th anniversary, WikiTree.
Yes, happy birthday. Do we have any questions that came? I couldn't see the chat. Any questions that came along?
I haven't seen any questions, just comments, really.
Well, I see one here. Carol asks, what does one do when time after time profiles are found, but they are barely profiles? Partial birth, death, or no bio or sources, or a source with no bio over and over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Carol, I actually have a task on my calendar. I periodically go through the profiles. Of course, I'm with U.S. Black Heritage Project, so my focus is there. But I will look for profiles that are unsourced or profiles that are missing birth dates. I mean, you can find those in Data Doctors. And I go through those and just make corrections where I can to help the community.
Yeah, and I see that Murray is in the chat. Hi, Murray. And he gave the same advice. If you find a profile that needs work, consider doing the needed work. Remember that any profile that's open, if you sign the honor code, you're a wiki genealogist. You can go ahead and work on that.
Yeah, sometimes people have added people in, and then for whatever reason they've not been able to work on something, or they've added something in from a GEDCOM years ago, and then since discovered that there was an error, and they've perhaps disconnected somebody, and then there's very little on there, and that's probably why some of these end up floating around with no connection to anybody, or no sources on it, or whatever, because they really didn't have a lot on them in the first place.
Right. So Jerry, it's very easy to get to. Let me go to. Let's see. Any page of WikiTree, you're going to have this menu up at the top, and the way to get to G2G is under the Help button, and just go down to Community Forum, and there you go. And then to ask your question, you would type in this field. And once you type in your question, the system may realize, oh, somebody asked that question 4 months ago, and in which case the answer is already there for you. But if it's a new question, then you'll have the text box where you can put the question and its details in there.
Oops, sorry. I clicked on the wrong. I clicked on the wrong thing. I was trying to get Murray's explain categories. Murray says.
Oh, okay. What what were we saying about categories?
We can probably just do a quick overview of what they are.
Yeah. I think we talked about categories maybe 2 days ago, but it never hurts to let's see. Okay. So categories are ways to group profiles. I mean, there are however many 45 million profiles on WikiTree. So categories help us make sense out of those. So here on this profile, it's right up at the top in the jump links bar. You can click on categories, and it'll show you that I put Waname in the category for the cemetery where she is buried. So when you go to that category, it shows you that there are 870 WikiTree profiles that have also been tagged with that category. Now, Waname is actually no relation to me. It's sort of a funny story. I had confusion in my tree between Waname's grandmother and one of my ancestors. Same name, but clearly two different people. But I found that other tree interesting, so I built it out a bit. So Waname is not any relationship to me, but let's see what happens when I go to my connections. Now, this is going to tell me everyone who's buried in that cemetery who has a WikiTree profile. Am I related to them? So it turns out that I do have some distant cousins who are buried in this cemetery. And then going below that, I also have people who are connected to me, but with a marriage along the way. And if you were curious about and like, oh, well, I wonder how Herbert and I are related, you click on the little icon and it will show our connection path. So categories are they are not limited, of course, to cemeteries. Cemeteries are a really fruitful ground, but they could be an occupation. They could be a historical event. They could be any place that is significant to a person because they were born there, died there, lived a great deal of their life there. I do have my WikiTree browser extension disabled right now to make this look like what new members see. But if I went into edit mode, the quickest way to get to categories is this button here. And then I could search. Waname was a teacher. So however, she was an elementary school teacher. I don't know if we have a category for elementary school teachers. Elementary school, no. But you can see that there are categories for some a specific elementary school. So
yeah. So there's categories for places. Organizations, all kinds of groupings. I think someone responded earlier in the chat. So if a category is not there and you think it should be, you can always request that on G2G. And in looking at some of the discussions, they may have been talking about categories on G2G. Can you explain the categories on G2G, what those different categories are?
Yeah, I mean, I use categories for my one place studies. I use categories for my one name studies. I use categories for all the places where people were born or may have lived for a long time, as you said before, and that. So, and it's useful in as much as you can. If you use the categories, you can perhaps pin down connections with other people. Certainly one of my one place studies, I've got connections to a lot of people in that one place study, and I'm still working on connecting them all together because I know a lot of them will have intermarried in that one place study. So.
And yes, I realize we do throw around a lot of terms that seem the same, or they are this exact same word, but we're applying them in a slightly different context. There are the categories that we just talked about on a profile, but there are also categories within G2G, like I was showing on the right, the treehouse, WikiTree help, genealogy help, appreciation. Those are just areas of G2G where if you want to, be more focused and targeted with your question, it's best to put them in that area.
Yeah. Somebody was saying they were categories at risk of duplication to some extent, but I think categories have to be put in underneath another top level category, so they need to have somewhere that they can be placed in the situation and that. So hopefully by doing that, it avoids some of the duplication.
Yeah. Carol is asking, is there a Black history category? Not specifically with that name, Carol, but we do have quite a few various categories under African American. So if you type African American in the category box, you're going to see a wide variety. It's African American organizations, African American cemeteries, African American family history. So it's all there, just under the term African American rather than Black history.
And shout out to Steve. I see that our fifth co-host for the member Q&A is also here. Great to see you, Stephen. And so we hope we'll see many of you on Thursday evening via Zoom. And if you can't make it, don't worry, because we do record those sessions and they get posted to YouTube. But if you come live, then you can ask us your questions and we can screen share and work through your questions.
Yeah. Jean, categories at risk for duplication. We actually have a categories team, a project team. And they're responsible for monitoring the categories. When you post on G2G to request a new category be added, you want to put categories as your tag, and that team will take a look at it. They do some analysis and check to see if that category already exists. If not, and it's a viable reason to have a category, they will add it.
Yeah.
Great. Did we get everyone's questions? Jerry, I posted a help page for categorization for you in the chat. So hopefully that helps. All right. Well.
Yes, we do. We have a bot that you can request a merge, a rename, all of those things for categories. So yes.
Yeah. I've had things cleared up before now where a category's been created and people have been using it but not using it appropriately. So we've cleared the things from the category and then asked for it to get merged away, and so that it no longer exists.
Well, Pagan Sky, better late than never. So we're glad that you're here now, and yeah, just jump on in.
Yeah. We're always getting people coming back to WikiTree. As I've said before, I'm one of the greeters. I've seen people just this morning that has come back to WikiTree after not being on WikiTree for quite a few years, and they've come back and they've perhaps signed the honor code, or they've perhaps just come back and joined as a family member initially, at least. You know, people come as guests, and then life gets in the way, and they quite often will come back.
Yeah. All right. Well, we have one more very full, exciting day of WikiTree week left. So everybody, pace yourself. We'll let you out so you can stretch, get coffee, do whatever you need to do, and enjoy the day.
All right.
Thanks, everyone.
Have a great one.
Yeah. Bye.